They don't want peace. They want power. Why narcissists weaponize their noise. Living with a narcissist is like trying to rest beside an endless construction site. There's no off switch, no quiet hours, just constant, jarring noise that never seems to end. But here's the thing. Their noise isn't random. It's strategic. It's an instrument of control, a weapon disguised as habit. They create what I'd call selective noise pollution, a deliberate effort to destabilize your environment, overwhelm your senses, and keep you in a state of hypervigilance. This isn't just an annoying quirk. It's psychological warfare. You'll notice it clearly when they're in public, where their behavior shifts. Suddenly, they're courteous, composed, refined. But behind closed doors, they're like a chaotic storm brewing in every room they enter. Let's start with something seemingly simple: their eating habits. When narcissists eat, it's like an audio performance. Open-mouthed chewing, smacking, slurping, fork scraping against plates, the whole symphony of irritation. It's not just that they're ignoring basic manners. They're sending a message. To them, you aren't worthy of respect or dignity. You're beneath them, so why bother with decency? Ironically, the same narcissist who eats like a human sound effect machine at home becomes refined and sophisticated at a restaurant. But in your shared space, they revert to full-volume dominance, as if the louder they are, the smaller you become. Then there's the total disregard for basic bodily etiquette. Loud, unapologetic burping and farting become part of the daily soundtrack. There's no excuse me, no shame, just raw, unfiltered noise. For most people, these are private or accidental. For narcissists, they're territorial markers. Each noise is like a flag planted in your shared space. I own this. You don't matter. It's about power, not comfort. Their entertainment habits follow suit. Whether they are watching TV, scrolling through reels, or playing video games, the volume is always cranked to the max, ear-splitting, wall-rattling chaos that drowns out everything else. You could be working, resting, thinking, but none of that matters to them. Their experience, their stimulation, their noise, takes precedence over your peace. And if you dare to ask for quiet, prepare for backlash, because how dare you prioritize your needs in their domain? And then comes the most calculated of all, sleep sabotage. The moment you try to rest, they spring into action, slamming cabinets, stomping through hallways, clearing their throats like they're on a Broadway stage. Every sound feels like it's been chosen for maximum disruption. It's not accidental. It's a tactic, carefully crafted to rob you of rest, to keep you tired, foggy, and easier to control. Sleep deprivation becomes a tool of domination. When you're exhausted, you're less likely to resist, less able to think clearly, and that's exactly what they want. Music, too, becomes a weapon. At random times, often when you're trying to work or concentrate, they'll blast their favorite songs at a volume that could shatter glass. And it's not about celebration or joy, it's about intrusion. They'll sing loudly and off-key, not for fun, but for impact. The disruption they cause isn't accidental, it's almost surgical, timed perfectly to derail your focus and command your attention. In public, the pattern changes, but the mission remains the same: dominate the space. They may not blast music at the airport, but they'll find other ways to create chaos. They'll talk loudly on the phone, laugh too hard at their own comments, make dramatic throat-clearing sounds, and use exaggerated gestures that push into others' personal space. They'll even accidentally bump into people. Why? Because narcissists thrive in chaos. They are the chaos. Even their car becomes an extension of their noisy identity. Riding with a narcissist means sitting through a concert of honking, road rage, and curses directed at every possible source of imagined offense. Traffic lights become personal insults. Pedestrians are enemies. And if you're in the passenger seat, you're likely a target too. What should be a peaceful drive turns into a mobile battlefield, where noise and anger fill every mile. And of course, in conversation, they don't just speak, they perform. Every word is projected like they are holding a press conference, even when it's just the two of you. Their tone doesn't invite connection, it demands attention. They don't dialogue, They dominate. Every sentence is a declaration, every comment a broadcast, and they ensure that everyone within earshot is forced into their world. So, if you've ever wondered why a narcissist is so noisy, now you know. It's not just personality. It's power. It's the sound of insecurity trying to masquerade as strength. The sound of dominance cloaked in disorder. It's their way of saying, I'm here, and I'm in control, even if it means suffocating every bit of peace around them. Phone calls, for a narcissist, aren't simply means of communication. They are one-man shows, unsolicited broadcasts designed to fill every inch of silence with the sound of their self-importance. Whether in a cafe, a waiting room, or your living room, they speak as if addressing a crowd, projecting every mundane detail of their day with theatrical flair. And heaven help you if you attempt to speak during their performance. They'll cut you off mid-sentence, speak over you without hesitation, and steer every conversation toward their center of gravity. It's not a lack of awareness. It's a conscious power move. So, what's in it for them? Why all the noise, the interruptions, the sonic invasions? The answer is chilling in its simplicity: control. Sound, for them, is not just a byproduct of living. It's a tool of domination. When they control the volume, they control the room. It becomes impossible to focus on your own thoughts, your wake, your inner peace, when someone insists on flooding the environment with their presence in the form of relentless sound. Their voice becomes a leash, and your nervous system becomes the one being pulled. Just like animals that mark their territory with scent, narcissists mark their environment through noise. Each slam of a door, each heavy footstep, each unnecessarily loud conversation is a psychological stake driven into the ground, a proclamation. This is my space. You adapt to me. It's an ongoing reminder to everyone around them that their existence must never be ignored, that their presence is to be felt, heard, and prioritized above all else. And then there's the revenge factor. Because narcissistic noise isn't always spontaneous, it's often weaponized. If they feel slighted, ignored, challenged, or, God forbid, if you dare ask for a moment of peace, they retaliate in the only way they know how. They crank up the volume. Ask for quiet, and suddenly the TV is blaring. Mention a headache, and doors begin slamming with an extra sting. The message isn't subtle. You dare to ask for peace. Here's your punishment. But what makes all of this unbearable is the hypocrisy. The rules shift the moment they need something. When they want to sleep, everyone must whisper. When they need to concentrate, the house must transform into a monastery. You and your children are expected to tiptoe around their needs, while they've never once tiptoed around yours. My own father used to do this. Loud and explosive when he wanted, but demanding absolute silence when it served him. That's the paradox of the narcissist. Chaos when you need calm, silence when they need control. You see, they might feel nothing. They might sleep through their own storm of sound. But you feel everything. Living in this noise, this unpredictable assault on your senses, creates a kind of trauma that doesn't just go away. It trains your nervous system to stay on high alert. You startle easily. You flinch at sudden sounds. You find yourself bracing for impact even in peaceful moments because silence, to you, doesn't feel safe, it feels suspicious. Constant noise rewires your body to live in survival mode. And it's not just you. Children raised in these environments learn to adapt in heartbreaking ways. Some become quiet to the point of invisibility, hoping that shrinking themselves will shield them from the chaos. Others develop deep-seated anxiety around sound that haunts them well into adulthood. The home, a place that should represent rest, comfort, and protection, morphs into a battlefield of noise and unpredictability. Safety becomes a memory rather than a reality. Recovery from this kind of auditory abuse isn't quick. It's a process of detoxing from chaos and rediscovering silence, not just as an absence of sound, but as a form of healing. After going no contact, one of the most surprising and beautiful discoveries is the sheer peacefulness of peace itself. The quiet no longer feels empty. It begins to feel sacred. It becomes a sanctuary where your mind can rest, your breath can deepen, and your body can finally stop anticipating the next disruption. Personally, I struggled with sensory overwhelm for years after leaving. I couldn't sleep without earbuds and an eye mask. My room had to be pitch dark and completely still, because my nervous system had been wired for noise, chaos, and alarm. Relearning how to rest felt foreign at first. But over time, in the stillness, I began to meet parts of myself I had lost. Healing wasn't found in confrontation. It was found in quiet, in the freedom to breathe deeply without interruption, in the ability to exist without walking on eggshells. And if this resonates with you, please share your story in the comments. You're not alone. You're not overreacting. You're recovering from an environment designed to keep you off balance. So give yourself the gift of quiet. Reclaim your space, and let that silence become the loudest reminder that you are free. We'll wrap up here, but remember, your healing begins not in the noise of their world, but in the quiet truth of your own. Until next time, as always, let the healing begin.